Hey everyone, this is Amy Cagle, and this is Unit 3 Progress Reports. So, in this unit, you are going to be writing a progress report on a service that your company that you've been kind of working with has completed during the time that a service is being rendered. This is your first unit that is going to take you 2 weeks. There will be a few units that will take multiple weeks. So I'm going to kind of go over the difference with Moodle and how that looks for a unit that is multiple weeks. So just note that if you're looking at this in a spring semester or later down the road, the dates are obviously going to be different, but the process and the way that this is set up is going to be the same. So, in a unit that takes multiple weeks, you will have the lecture video still due by Thursday, as well as the quick write, and then an assignment due by that following Sunday. But that assignment is not the written component like it usually is in a week that is only in a unit that's only 1 week. This is an assignment that, because a progress report is going to be a little bit more effort than writing a letter or a memo or an email, I'm giving you multiple weeks to complete it. Now, that does not mean that you can wait until do nothing week 1 and do everything at the end of week 2. We will still have deadlines throughout that 2 week period. So, on the first Sunday of this 2 week period, you will have an outline that will need to be completed. I will go over that outline with you and kind of explain what I need to see in that outline, and then your actual progress, and then you'll have a progress report check in due by the next Thursday. This is just for me to get an idea of how you're doing and what you have done up to this point, and if you have any other questions. And then your final progress report will be due by the following Sunday. So on the Moodle site itself, you're going to be looking at chapter 6, which is going over what a progress report is and how to write one. Here's some notes on progress reports that you need to look at as well, and a sample that you can pull up and look at, and some additional notes. So let's go ahead and get into those notes now. So a progress report in its bare basic form is a short written report used to inform either a supervisor, associate, or a customer about the progress that you have made on a project over a period of time. You're going to go into discussing the design, construction, or the repair of something. So if you're going over, if your progress report that you're making is focusing on the repair of a car that has been in a car accident, you're going to be letting them know where you are in a certain part of that progress, what you have completed, how much money you've spent up to this point, and what you have left to do, and what you believe is ultimately the end of the estimate, and if there's going to be any additional funds that you didn't anticipate. You can also go into the details of the study or research, gathering information on a technical subject as well. This is something you write when it's going to take several weeks or months to complete something. So, like I said, a car was severely damaged in a car accident and your body shop is making those repairs, or you are a contractor who has been assigned to work on a house that's been hit by a tree. So, where you are several weeks into the repairs with time left. So, this is not something you would necessarily do if it's only going to take 2 or 3 days to complete the work. That can be done in an email or a phone call. So, in your progress report, you're going to explain the following things: how much work you've completed up to this point, what part of the work is currently in progress. So, I've completed these tasks. I'm currently working on this. These are the tasks that remain to be completed. Any problems or unexpected things that have come up in the project. And if there aren't any problems or unexpected things, make sure to mention that. Up to this point, we have not come across any problems. We don't anticipate there to be any problems, but I just wanted to let you know. And then also just in general how the project is going. So this is the function. It's going to reassure the recipient that you're making progress, that the project is going smoothly and will be completed by the expected date. People like updates. I am currently waiting on my car to be fixed, and the only time I'm getting updates is if I call them. So an update would be nice. You need to provide recipients with a brief look at the findings or some of the work, just to give them an idea of what's going on. a chance to evaluate the work and to request changes. So at this point, because you're not done yet, if they think that maybe something's not done correctly, they can let you know, hey, I have a concern about this, or I kind of wish it was done this way, and you can go back and make those alterations. It gives you the chance to discuss any problems, and it forces you to establish a work schedule. So if you know that you have to get a progress report sent to the customer within 2 weeks of starting the project, and you need to have this much done, it forces you to stick to that schedule, so you're more likely to finish things on a timely manner. And then it also gives a sense of professionalism to your work. So your progress report needs to look kind of like this. So if there's 3 progress reports in a year long time. So if you're working on something for a course of a year, I would send out my progress report at 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months. So you can look at the ratio and adjust that, accordingly based on the length of time of your project there. You can do progress reports in a memo. I don't necessarily recommend that just because memos tend to be more inter-office and short. A letter may not be a bad idea, and then a formal report would probably be the best thing if you're looking at a customer. If you were doing a customer, you would have a memo or a letter at the start, and then you would have attached the progress report to the end. So here are the key sections. You need to have 3 of these specific key sections: work accomplished, work performing now, and then work planned for the next section of work being accomplished. Don't forget your ABC format, abstract, body, conclusion. So your opening paragraph is going to introduce the purpose of the memo and a reminder of the project topic, a summary, specific objectives, your scope or limits, any research you've gathered, and the overall assessment or appraisal of the project at this time. Here's your revision checklist. Make sure it's in the right format. So check with me if you have any questions about that, if you'd like me to look at it. If this is for a workplace in the future, make sure you're checking with your supervisor. Make sure you have a clear opening paragraph reminding your recipient of the project you're working on. Hello, my name is Joe Student, and I am the contractor assigned to oversee the repair of your home since it was hit by a tree on July 31st, for example. Make sure you're using headings to mark off the different parts of the progress report. It just makes it easier to follow. Use lists if appropriate. And then provide specifics. Don't be vague. Be specific with your details. And then address the real or realistic audience, not me. You are not writing to me. You are writing to Casey Househit, letting Casey know what happened to her house. So here is the customer work order assignment. So this is what you need to make sure that you do. You are going to write a work order for a customer outside of your organization. Because it's outside, you must do a letter format. So you need to have this should be in the format of a letter. And if you do not remember how to write a letter, I recommend going back to Unit 2, looking at the student example, or looking at the video if you need help with that. Choose any type of work that relates to what your job is, what you're studying to be, what you chose in units 1 and 2. If you still got that house cleaning business, maybe this progress report is you are cleaning a house that was vandalized in a really nasty way, and you got a lot of work to do. It's going to take you months to complete it. Make sure you're using ABC format. Make sure you're summarizing work accomplished, work being performed, and work planned. And you should be using headings to break down that information. You need an opening paragraph. You need a summary, specific objectives, scope, research, and the assessment or appraisal of the project at the time. All right, so let's go back to Moodle. So don't forget your quick write for your progress report. And then you're going to be completing by the first Sunday of this 2 weeks, you're going to be completing an outline. So we're going to open this up. I do want you, this is something you're going to open the document, and then you're going to download it to your computer, type it, and then resubmit it. So this is the outline of what your progress report is going to look like. Your progress report should be 3 specific sections. The abstract is the purpose and the scope or timeline of the project. That's paragraph 1. Now, in an outline, we are not typing the paper yet. We are just simply filling it in. So your purpose of your project could be house hit by tree, repairs of house hit by tree. And the scope of the project could be 8 months. That's all you got to put there. Body, you need the summary of the project here. Now your body is going to be multiple paragraphs here. Paragraph 1 of the body should be your summary and then the specific objectives. What the overall project was and the specific things that you are looking at fixing. Paragraph 2, what is currently being performed. We've done this up to this point, now we're working on this. How much time is left? How much do you think it's going to cost? And then what's coming up next in the period of time before your next progress report. So this may be 2 to 3 paragraphs. And then your final paragraph is your conclusion, your overall assessment, and when you expect the work to be completed. Now remember, in an outline, you're just filling in these bullets. We are not necessarily completing the work all the way. You're not typing it yet. You are simply coming up with an idea, a plan, a checklist, if you will, to help you to figure out what is next. All right, so that is the outline. So let's go back to Moodle. And the outline, remember, like I've said before, the outline is due that first Sunday of these 2 weeks. Then you are going to, that next Thursday of the second week, you're going to check in with me. You're going to kind of let me know where you're at and if you have any questions. It is going to say if you have specific concerns at this moment to email me directly. But if you're just checking in and everything is good and you just need to finish it up, you don't need to email me. Just answer the questions in the text box. Your secret word for this week is progress. So please make sure that at the end of this video, you go in and you fill in the word progress for secret word number 5. Your final thing I want to make sure we look at is getting ready to turn in that progress report assignment. Let's look at the student sample so you can kind of see what that's going to look like. So for the student sample, we have who it's going to, the date, and who wrote it. So Joe Student, who is with Williams Auto Repair. And the subject line here. Now he did a letter, and this is what I'm expecting to see. You have a letter with a brief summary of the assignment. Thank you for trusting Williams Auto Repair with your car company repairs. This is an update. Attached, you'll find a progress report. We've been delayed. We have them on order, but they're running late. We feel we should be able to complete it within 3 months. And then we have attached progress report. This is important to add. Then we are moving on to the progress report itself. So we have the summary. We have what they've completed up to this point, what they are currently working on, and then the final task once all parts arrive. So this is what I expect to see. It's 2 pages. You've got your letter and you've got your attached progress report. This is not all included in the same document. So make sure that you are including all of these things in that assignment. And then turning it in at the final Sunday of this week by 11:55 p.m. Don't forget that late work can be turned in up to 3 days after the assignment is due, except for the secret word at the maximum grade being a 70. Please do not get into the habit of turning in your work late. But I do understand that life happens, but there are penalties for that. If you think that you are not going to be able to turn in an assignment due to a personal issue that is beyond your control, please make sure you are letting me know at least 24 to 48 hours in advance, and I will try to work with you on an extension. Because I do understand life happens. If you guys have any questions, you can email me anytime, or you can try to reach out during my virtual office hours, and I will see you guys on the next installment. Thanks so much.